Hello, everyone. So, we know that we are here to transform our darkness and turn it into light, but I think we need to understand why we're confused in all of this and what does the light really mean? So, I'll just describe quickly how this works in Kabbalah. This is just tree of life. This is the blueprint of life, how it works. You have high vibrations that go into low vibrations. So, ideas become material things, the any creation in this room, like this window, it started as an idea and then it became physical. A movie, there's a storyboard and there's the actual DVD. So basically, the consciousness takes on more and more vibrations until it becomes dense enough to take on a form. And that's why we're in this physical world. And the qualities of this consciousness is something we need to understand, because this consciousness starts at an infinitely high vibration and then it trickles down into denser vibrations. And this awareness at the highest vibrations, what comes to mind? What are the highest vibrations? Well, we know for a fact that when it becomes denser and the vibrations are lower, we feel emotions like shame or guilt or confusion and frustration and chaos. This is where the dense vibrations are. But as this becomes more and more infinite, high frequency, we see things like intuition, insight, wisdom, love, peace. So if there's, maybe you're lost with what you want to create. Maybe you want to start a business, but you don't know what it is. Maybe you want to, create a certain kind of content, but you're confused with it. Well, this light is within each of us and it contains the qualities of certainty, and it knows exactly what the creation needs to be. The qualities of this light of the creator are not the confusion. So we know that it's there. The reason we aren't accessing it and the reason we're in confusion and we're in some sort of chaos or things just feel blocked right now for us is because this light is there, but it's trapped in the darkness. But if we can awaken our consciousness and awaken this light within our soul, then we'll know what we want to create. We'll know that business we want to start. We'll know what videos we feel like making, because this light is just trapped and it just needs to be awakened. Because when that light is there, it's already there, it's just trapped. And when that gets freed, it has the qualities, it has the intuition, it has the knowing. So what we need to do is stop getting so sucked into the form, trying to find the answers while we're in the darkness. What we need to do is reveal the light that's in the darkness. So what do I mean when I say darkness? What I mean with darkness is like, maybe there's something from our past. Maybe there's something where we keep getting triggered, some recurring psychological pattern. This is the darkness. This is where the light is. The light that knows what you want to create, what you want to do with your life, it's in this darkness. So actually, if you want to figure out what to do with your life, stop watching videos on techniques to fuel your creativity. Actually, you need to do whatever you need to do to awaken your consciousness and free it from the darkness. So maybe there's some trauma in your childhood, or maybe there's some recurring psychological pattern. So maybe when people make a certain kind of comment, you get triggered with anger, or maybe you find yourself being very externally dependent on something and you have an addiction to social media, or you have a laziness problem, or you're not over some X in your past. There's trapped darkness there. Trapped light in that darkness. That is the darkness I'm talking about. Maybe something happened in your childhood. That is the trapped darkness, the trapped light. And many of us are sucked into the effects. Everything we're seeing externally is an effect because it all starts with consciousness. So many of us are looking at the movie, trying to figure out what's going on in the movie. But where did the movie start? A DVD is only a final product of formlessness. Formlessness is what gives way to form. This video is form. This video is an effect. But the causes of this video are in consciousness. I had an idea. The idea was the formlessness, but it met physical action to become a physical product. So, yes, this is very profound because we need to do what actually matters and awaken our consciousness to feel happy, to do what we are meant to do what our soul is meant to do, instead of watching techniques on how to manifest specific things. What if you're manifesting according to your ego? You want to manifest something that is true to your soul, because then it will be longer lasting, it will be more enjoyable, and it will be reliable, and you'll love it. So maybe there's a limiting belief you have. Maybe there's something from your past that there's a lot of trapped light, and that's bringing you to a lot of confusion. So to get out of this confusion, write down whatever are the most recurring psychological patterns. So as you can just observe yourself as you go throughout the day. Bring this awareness with you and just go about your day. Do whatever you would normally do in a day. Or maybe your day is full of chaos. That's fine. Even if you have a terrible day, that's great. Observe yourself and see what thoughts keep recurring. And then you'll see, maybe you have an issue with like seeking external validation. Maybe you'll notice that you have an issue with constantly wanting to find some sort of gratification in social media. You'll find something. And what you're doing is you're going into the causes, not the effects. You're not trying to find a solution from your anger, from your confusion, but instead you're trying to understand where this confusion is coming from. Think about it. If you're in confusion and chaos and anger, what are your thoughts? Your thoughts are constantly changing. Your thought is one thought at one moment and another thought at the next. What makes you think that following any of these thoughts would be a good idea? What kind of video are you going to create if you're coming from a place of confusion? You're going to start making the video and then you're just going to be confused. You're going to start making the business and then you're going to transfer to a different business or just decide you want to get a job. It's going to change because your thoughts, the causes, started from chaos, a very unreliable, sandy foundation. So what I'm saying here is you need to reveal the light so that you are coming from a place of reliable peace, stillness. And if you observe yourself in a day, you'll see the limiting beliefs that come up. Maybe you keep noticing like a recurring thought pattern when it comes to trying to start your business, or you have a coworker and you see this like thought pattern rise up every time they do something or whatever it is. Or maybe you have a partner and you're projecting something onto them. You just need to observe this. You don't need to change externally or have any resentment, because actually it's all happening exactly so that you can see your darkness. We are here to transform the darkness into light. So everything that's happening externally is here to help us do that. So don't have any resentment towards your circumstances. That's a complete illusion. Everything that's happening, this is what Kabbalah explains, everything that's happening externally is specifically to show us what we are holding within ourselves. So if you're seeing a certain psychological pattern or you're getting triggered by something continuously externally, it's because the universe is perfectly orchestrated to reveal that within you. Everything is showing us what we hold internally. If you're judging someone, if you're pitying yourself, if you're feeling angry at a specific thing that keeps on happening, it's because you hold that within yourself. And if you want to transform that effect, that physical reality where it's happening, you have to comprehend and consciously transform the darkness. So observe yourself for a day. You can journal it out at the end of the day if you want, or even if you already know, maybe you already know, you don't even have to take a day to do this. You could just write it out. And this is what you want to watch out for. And now, if you reveal the light that is trapped in those limiting beliefs, then it will contain the guidance within it. It'll open up your soul. It'll infuse the light in your soul so that you know what it is you want to do. And this will take time, maybe this will happen like that, Everyone's path is different. It could take years, it could take a freaking day. It's okay. It's fine. Everyone's got their authentic strengths and weaknesses. It's completely fine. But this is what I'm saying is like, you have to go to the causes, not the effects. Stop getting sucked into what the techniques are and experimenting with videos when you're still coming from a place of anger or confusion or chaos or lack or fear. You need to transform your vibration into something higher, and you can only do that by acknowledging and consciously transmuting the energy that is going into the lower vibrations. So notice yourself and be grateful when you get triggered, or even if thoughts just come up randomly for you throughout the day. That's the work. It's there. It's right there. You just need to transform it. And you transform it not by identifying with it, but giving yourself the detachment to just see it for what it is. You can only transform it if you're conscious. To be conscious means to watch it like a movie. Don't be sucked into the movie. Just watch it. Just watch the movie of your life. Step out of your body and observe yourself with awareness. If you need help on how to do this, you can watch videos on it, but I think it's a pretty straightforward concept. It's awareness. It's awareness. Be super aware and just consciously observe yourself, detach. It'll be hard because you're gonna get triggered and you'll want to identify with it. For example, maybe someone will say a comment to you and you'll feel super angry. To be identified with it and to lose your self-observation would mean you lash out at that person, or you shut down and start thinking negative thoughts and getting super justified and just getting angry, and whatever it looks like. It looks different for everyone. That would be getting identified, becoming unconscious. It's okay if you make some mistakes. We all will make mistakes. It's okay. I'm just saying that if you really want to reveal the light that has everything you're looking for, the guidance, the abundance, the happiness, you need to be observing that stuff instead of getting identified with it. And it will take practice, but it's okay. So just observe yourself and don't be identified with it. If you were to do it in a conscious way, when someone says something that triggers your anger, then instead of identifying with it, you would just observe yourself. You would be like, oh, okay, this is great. I'm seeing where my darkness is. This is where the trapped light is. So I'm seeing like my physical body is tensing up in my fists. Interesting. My emotions are very intense right now. I'm feeling it in my heart. I'm seeing thoughts. What are the thoughts? And you will see that the thoughts, the emotions, they start to get drained. Or maybe this is just even you sitting at your desk, like brainstorming. What am I going to write? What am I going to create? What business, even if it's that, you can still notice like what's going on. And maybe you see a psychological pattern where it's like, there's like something that wants to pull you into despair and anger and frustration at the world. And so you just see it. You don't even try to fix it. You just see it and you be grateful for it. And now that you get to see this, you can write it out, or you can just keep a mental inventory of this, whatever it is. You'll observe this and get a good dose of like, what is the most important thing? You'll probably notice a lot of things, but you just want to distill whatever seems like the most urgent thing to transform. That's where the light is. So you can write it out. You can just like keep a note to yourself, whatever you want to do. And that's what you want to pay attention to, and to consciously transform it. There's a lot of tools out there. You can journal about it. You can question to yourself, did this start because of something in my past? That's a powerful question. Think about it. Oh, I'm noticing that when I'm sitting in front of my computer, I start to notice a certain psychological pattern. I wonder where that started from. Where are the causes of this? What happened in my past? Does anything come to mind for you of something that is unresolved about your childhood? This is where your trapped light is. And this is how you can start to consciously transform those beliefs and those limitations and give a light to your soul where there's darkness. It takes comprehension, it takes observation, and then to actually, once you understand it, then it's not really darkness because you've put the light into it. So you might get an insight or something. Maybe you don't even get any insight, but you just are conscious and you transform it and you feel it, and you can pray, you can journal, you can just start moving your body, getting the energy moving, whatever you need to do. Prayer is really powerful because once you understand something, prayer is the technology that will eliminate the darkness entirely. So that's we could do a video on that. But the core of what I'm saying is that in those repeated psychological patterns, in those instances of childhood trauma, whatever it is, in that darkness, that is where the light is. And if you can reveal that, you will know what business you want to do. You'll know what video you want to make. You'll know like how to handle a certain situation that keeps recurring. You'll know. You just need to surrender the instant gratification that comes from getting identified into effects, into form. Don't get into form, get into the causes, adjust your consciousness to be at the highest frequency, and the effects will ripple away from that. Think about what is produced from a place of love and happiness. And now think about what comes from a place of anger and confusion. So you need to just reveal the light that is blocking you from accessing the higher vibrations of joy. And then everything will ripple out from that. So I hope that this makes sense. This is how you can destroy those beliefs, those things you're holding on to. You cannot shift your destiny as long as you are not in alignment with where you are right now. And we aren't in alignment with where we are right now if we are holding on to things from the past. And when we are truly present, the wisdom, the guidance that comes to us, it's always there. It's just trapped in the darkness. So this is how you do it. Now, in addition to this, you can also do some things that kind of ignite your heart a little bit, because we feel superior emotions in our heart. And when that's the vibration in our heart, then the wisdom can come into our mind. So light your heart on fire. Think about someone who makes you really happy. Think about your dog and just like sit in that feeling of what it's like to just be super happy. And if some darkness comes up while you're doing that, great. That's what you need. Then sit with that and let the darkness, be conscious with it, sit with it, and choose to feel it so that it can be transformed into light. Basically, I'm telling you to like destroy your limiting beliefs by sitting with them and observing them and questioning them. And as you're doing this, you can also just ignite your heart through fun activities, like go on a trip you've always wanted to go on, buy yourself a little treat, get yourself a nice sandwich, or like write a letter to someone in your family, or call someone you've been meaning to call. This will give you some momentum as you do this work, because it really you have to feel it in your heart. And it's hard to like process darkness if you don't have this love in your heart. So observe yourself, write down, keep an inventory of what limiting beliefs you're noticing, or like psychological patterns you're noticing, and really intentionally dissolve through whatever means necessary the most pressing limiting beliefs. That is where your guidance is. If you're confused, that is where your guidance, it's in your darkness. You have to just transform whatever you haven't resolved from your past. Any old relationships you're holding on to. This is why cleaning your room is so powerful, because a lot of us have random things that we just don't even need. And there's trapped light in that. When there's no energy coming out of it, it just becomes a void. So actually, you might even just find that to be helpful too. Anything where there's trapped darkness, whether it's from your past, things you're not using in your room, relationships where you're still holding a grudge, there's physical things you can do, but there's also emotional cleansing you can do. Anything that you can do to release yourself from these limitations and transform that darkness into light. I can do a video on how you can actually practically do that, but I think you all understand what I'm saying. So I hope that this is helpful. Observe yourself and starve these psychological patterns so that you can reveal the light. And don't identify, just stay conscious and observe yourself. Observe your thoughts, observe your emotions, observe your physical behavior, and you will see the causes of the most recurring psychological patterns that keep you in confusion, that keep you suffering. Don't run away from them, understand them. Journal about it, write them out, meditate on them, pray for them, whatever you got to do. Just destroy these limiting beliefs. And you can't do that if you don't know what they are. So observe yourself. Self-observation is it's a requirement. Everything you do, you have to observe yourself. Your psychological patterns are holding you into darkness, into confusion. And you can't let the light of clarity in your soul as long as you're still sucked into these patterns. So how do you observe yourself? Just step back and see yourself as like you're a character in a video game. Just don't be identified with your life. Like, be in the awareness. Be in the awareness. It's like there's a movie playing, and just be in the seats watching it instead of actually being sucked into the movie. This takes practice, and it might help to remember that we have three brains. So you have to observe yourself. You have your thoughts, you have your emotions, and you have your physical behavior and your motor functions. So if you were really craving like a cigarette, then you would be observing your physical center, because that's a physical craving. But if you were like emotionally attached to an ex, that would be an emotional center thing to observe. But if you were thinking about what you're going to do next, or you were pitying yourself and having like negative mental narratives playing, then you would observe your thoughts. And this is all you do. So instead of being the clouds as you go throughout your day, there could be a cloud of physical desires. There could be a cloud of emotional turmoil. There could be a cloud of thoughts, of narratives. Just be the sky, okay? So you're the sky, you're observing, and you will see that certain clouds tend to repeat. These are the clouds you need to understand and transform. And you do that through meditating, through praying, through journaling, through walking, any spiritual exercise that will help you to transform that. All you know is that there is trapped light in those recurring clouds, in those recurring thought patterns. That is your work. That's what you're here to do. There's a reason that you have certain recurring patterns in your mind, in your body, and you cannot get rid of those patterns that are making you suffer if you don't understand where they're coming from. Observe yourself, understand yourself. This is it. This is it. This is it. And also, to give you the motivation as you do this, do things that really light your heart on fire. Listen, do your best to listen to your intuition. And this might be hard because some of us are so trapped that we can't even tell what our intuition is telling us, because we have so much trauma, so much pent up resentment and things that we're holding on to. Our intuition is quite literally blocked. So as you're destroying the barriers of your intuition and this light, that's good, you're doing the work. And to give you the fire you need to do that, you can also kind of ignite your heart. Start listening. Do your best. Like as you're leaving the house, if you would usually take a certain route, but your intuition tells you, hey, why don't we try going on this road instead? Listen to that. If you usually get a certain sandwich when you go out to eat, and your intuition tells you to try something else, listen to that. These little small decisions, it's always there. You just don't realize it. So just tune into it, try, and even if it feels weird, if you proceed with certainty, it'll start building. Just proceed with confidence. Don't act on it and then think like, oh, was I really listening to my intuition? I'm probably just doing this wrong. And no, you act on your intuition and maybe you get it wrong. That's okay. But these little small decisions, you just act. And if you proceed as though it was the perfectly right choice to make, then it will become correct. Even if it was not even the right thing, it'll become correct. You just have to trust and do this in your heart, and it will become correct. These little small decisions, as you do this, it'll start really putting your muscle onto connecting to your light, to your soul, to your heart. And when you start to do that, then the bigger decisions of like what you want to create, what business you want to do, what job you want, whether you should marry this person or not, those big decisions, you'll have more muscle to really like take on those decisions with intuition. So this is reveal the light that is trapped in your limiting beliefs and ignite your heart by doing things that feel really true to your heart. And that might feel weird, but you practice it and you do it. Listen to your intuition on small decisions. You can also, if you do things, there are certain things that are just guaranteed to really like fire up your heart and help you with all of this. And like, if you can do service for other people, make a nice comment to someone, write someone a letter, creative hobbies, like try playing an instrument, try creating something. This is tapping you into the giving proactive force. And this is the force that you need to destroy these beliefs. Remember, you're observing yourself. This is awareness. This is the high vibration of awareness that you're bringing with you as you observe yourself. Your light is trapped in these beliefs, and you cannot destroy those beliefs if you don't observe them, if you don't understand them. And you observe them because you have this awareness. This awareness is the same awareness that you feel when you're lost in a creative hobby, when you're entranced by the sunset. It's the same awareness because it has those qualities. It has those qualities of love, of joy, of like peace, right? So of course you observe yourself, but you can also kind of keep tuning into it by listening to your intuition and doing creative hobbies, because it's the same thread of awareness. So you can do some crafts, you can make a little video, you can, whatever you want to do, you do it. It's going to help you tune into that awareness. And when you tune into that awareness, it'll start infusing your soul even more light into your soul. The more you do that, the more you'll live in certainty, and the more you'll live with guidance and peace instead of the fear in your mind. You need to move out of the fear of intellectual thinking and into the love and peace in your heart. And that will drain your mind. People like to let their intellect be the captain of their life. This is very dangerous because it's not reliable. Everybody has all these different thoughts, and they're constantly changing. You need to live from the joy in your heart. That is the surest way to be happy. People say, live from your heart and you'll be happy. This is because you can't trust what's happening in your mind. There's a gazillion things out there. What you can trust is your direct experience, and that happens in your heart. And I'm telling you, you can literally live by your heart and live from the happiness in your heart if you reveal the darkness that is trapped from your limiting beliefs, from your past, from whatever it is. Reveal that light and do things that light your heart on fire. I'm telling you, light your heart on fire. Reveal the light in those limiting beliefs and do things that make you happy, that bring you joy. Those little trips to random stores that you like, to cool walks with pretty views, creative hobbies. That'll open up your heart and give you the fire and awareness and intention and the qualities that you need in order to reveal the light that is trapped in those limiting beliefs that you have. So this is how, if you want spiritual, material abundance, and if you want the guidance and to stop living in so much confusion about what to create, what to say, what to do, you have to reveal the light that is trapped in the darkness. And it might be something from your past. You might not understand what it is, but observe yourself. This is it. Hope that this is helpful. Peace out.